Welcome, beautiful being, to Soul Good. Thank you so very much for joining me. It is a blessing and pleasure, as always, to be joining you. Please do trust that whenever you've found yourself here, there are likely to be messages within the contents of this video for you. I would like to encourage you to use your discernment. Take what resonates with you and leave the rest. Please do not make something your story that isn't. Before I dive into the messages I had coming through, I just want to share with you that my eye has been drawn to the more erratic nature of the flame of this candle here. And as my eye was drawn there, I heard a quote from what I believe is the movie Elizabeth, the Golden Age, in which she says something along the lines of, "I have a hurricane within me." I will put that quote on the screen for you, but this feels significant to me, not only because it dropped into my field, but also because I feel like you could be someone who has been perceived as weak or small or insignificant or something of that nature. There's a underdog or hero's journey type of feeling here. But you could have been someone who people have just believed they could treat any old type of way, and because you're weak and insignificant, or that's what they believe you to be, that nothing is going to happen, right? That they can just carry on doing that. And there's something stirring within you that I feel is going to prove them to be wrong. Whatever that looks like is going to be specific to your journey, your unfolding, and however that may appear. But there is something about what may have been perceived as just embers within you is actually this raging fire. I feel that you are someone who is actually incredibly strong, brave, determined. I feel like you are someone who has taken on your trauma and your wounding and your pain and your programming and have been actively working to heal. You've been actively working to grow and evolve and to be better, and to, in some cases, be more Christ-like, to be of service, to be more loving, more peaceful, more emotionally responsible and mature, to be aware and mindful of how you're moving in the world and how that impacts other people. And so, again, there's this perception from some where, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's because they have a might is right mindset or whatever, they're a narcissist. I don't know what the story is. But there is a feeling of believing themselves to be better than, greater than, etc. And I feel as though they're going to be humbled. They're going to be proven wrong, which is very, very interesting because the messages that I had coming through actually align with that quite beautifully. So initially, some of the messages that I started to get were that the tables are turning, that there is this reversal of circumstances or this role reversal happening. And it's quite fascinating to me because the way that this was shown to me is unique in a way that I haven't seen it shown to me previously. Maybe this has been shown to others, but I haven't experienced it this way. And so what that's looked like is what was once in darkness comes into the light, but it's happening on both sides of the spectrum, which is super fascinating to me. It's almost like you'll, like, both sides will get the light, but depending on where you fall on the spectrum is going to determine how you experience that, whether that's good or bad, right? So what I mean is, those doing nefarious, sneaky, shady, dishonest, abhorrent acts are going to be exposed for many to see, by the way, as well as, those who have been benevolent, well-intentioned, honest, moral, and loving being accentuated, praised, even perhaps rewarded to varying degrees, either spiritually or physically, depending on one's specific journey and unfolding. Also, having a lot of eyes on them. The reason I'm saying it this way and not guiding it specifically towards you is because I feel as though this could be taking place on the world stage as well as within individuals. So however that may be showing up could look different depending on depending on where you're sitting. But either way, it's lots of eyes. So if you are someone who has been perceived as being weak and have been on the receiving end of this bullying type of energy, that person or those individuals could be being exposed to those around them who once bought the mask they were wearing when you knew better. And you just may be sitting back and watching while simultaneously being yourself thrust into the light, but in a way where you're praised. Okay, very, very interesting the way this has come through. And this could be the result of perhaps a lot of prayer, or of prayer playing a large role in how this is unfolded. You could have been praying for reprieve. You could have been praying for justice. You could have been praying for honesty. You could have been praying for the light to be shown on these circumstances, on these individuals. And you could have just been surrendering and trusting God, taking this leap of faith that eventually the truth would come out, that eventually things would be made very clear, very evident, very obvious, versus, being done in a very sneaky, back alley, dirty deed kind of way. I do have some signs of confirmation that could be significant for you. How they resonate with you is, of course, going to be specific to you and your story. So again, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But I did get rabbits, which in some cases could be a call to tap into your unique gifts, talents, and skills, and to birth a new creation, okay? Or being creative both artistically and in your thinking as well, which is, of course, very interesting because rabbits often represent or symbolize fertility and abundance, good fortune and prosperity. They're also connected to lunar phases as a representation of rebirth and renewal, which is very much that energy of the flame rising up within you, or that phoenix rising from the ashes. Your moon sign or the moon transits at present could be significant for you in some way. Again, there's this need for strategic thinking, intelligent thinking, and or decision making. Okay, so if you are someone who is on the cusp of making a very big decision, or perhaps are considering certain things that could be life-changing for you, this could be a sign for you to step back, to make sure you are incredibly informed, to make sure you are not making decisions hastily, or are not really being thorough. Okay, so again, the need for strategic or intelligent decision-making or thinking Also remember to be creative in your thinking. You may be or feel connected to the divine, mysticism, spirit. If that's true for you, this could be a reminder to protect yourself, your energy, your heart, and your steps. So this could be a sign for you, again, if you are someone, especially if you are getting ready to make some very big decisions, or if you have been blessed, these sorts of things, to keep those things to yourself, to not announce things on socials or with family and friends in ways that you may have previously. There is a message here for boundaries, 100%, to move quietly, to not share your every move, right? But to keep those things close to you to protect them. You could be someone who has been seeing the number 555, which, if that is true for you, that is a message of these divinely guided or divinely inspired changes or transformation that can be significant and dramatic, but are needed, but are necessary for the unfolding of your path, the unfolding of your evolution. Travel could also be significant. I was seeing both planes and cars. So you could be planning a trip, taking a trip. You could have just gotten back from a trip. You could be on a trip right now, or you could be in the future. I also was getting myrrh. That could be significant for you. Incense, the scent of myrrh, for whatever reason, that could be showing up. I did hear the song In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins. And actually the part of the song that I was getting is, I can feel it coming. So if you are not yet here, if you are not sitting there watching this like, yes, this is going on in my life, or yes, I'm seeing this happen, this could be on its way to you, okay? I also was getting church bells. Okay, now if you live next to a church, this might not be for you, but if you are hearing church bells and it's not something that you hear regularly, this could be a sign for you as well. One of joyous celebration or praise, which brings me back to, the light on those who are being moral and honest and loving. It could also be a sign of protection and blessing. Church bells have been thought to ward off evil spirits, right? Really aligning with the role of angels as guardians. And so again, it's bringing us back to that need to protect your energy and to really consider that, as well as, angels being messengers as well. So there's this energy with church bells of that connection to the divine, or alerting you to divine messages. So if you are hearing church bells and maybe you don't resonate with protection, or you don't resonate with, joyous celebration, it could be a sign for you to lean into what messages may be trying to come through to you when you're hearing those church bells, right? It may be alerting you to, hey, get quiet because I'm about to drop something into your field. I'm about to share something with you, okay? Again, take all of this as it resonates with you. Please do not make it yours if it isn't. Okay. Please, Father, Mother, Life, Christ, Universe, Spirits, Guides, Angels, our cosmic team, our ancestors, our higher selves, what other messages would like to come through today, please? Thank you. Yeah, okay. I'm also hearing the song, I think it's Crazy is the song, actually. Oh, I don't know who the original artist is. I will link it in the description below. But I'm hearing that Does that make me crazy? You may be someone who is going against the grain, who is doing things, perceiving things, moving in ways that are outside of the box, as it were, that go against the status quo or the current paradigm. You could have a lot of people around you who are maybe stuck in old ways of thinking, old ways of being, the old paradigm, etc., traditions, that sort of thing, who are really kind of looking at you like, what in the heck are you doing? But it feels like you're going with what feels good to you, what feels appropriate for you, and the path that you're on. And there could be, in the back of your mind, these questions of, have I completely lost it? Like, am I just losing my mind? Or, and I feel like all that really is, if that rings true for you, is just the unknown, right? I just feel like it is breaking free from that being uncomfortable and watching everyone around you kind of stay the same, and venturing into the unknown, not really knowing what lies ahead. So let's see how we're coming into this. Bottom of the deck is a law of reciprocity, giving without expecting anything in return. Super freaking fascinating, because I feel like you are probably someone who does do this. I feel like you are probably someone who is likely generous and giving and kind, whether that be your time, your energy, your attention, even perhaps, financially. I feel like you would be someone who would give someone the shirt off your back type of energy. And you may be someone who has just been like this regardless. Do you know what I'm saying? Even though the world may have been cruel to you, there's this sense of refusing to be cruel back. Oh, I love that so much. And thank you for being that way. Thank you for being that way. We need it. So God bless you for that. But there's the feeling of, this reciprocity, in the sense of God rewarding that. Whatever that looks like, could show up in an innumerable amount of ways. And, that could be in your physical world. It could be spiritually. It could be emotionally. It could be mentally. Don't count anything out, is what I'm trying to say here. Because these blessings, that reciprocity, that it coming back to you tenfold, sevenfold, double, whatever it may be, could show up in so many different ways. But I do feel, oh yes, thank you, you are getting your just rewards, as are those that have been doing, these bullying types of acts, or these nefarious acts, or whatever it is. They're also getting their just rewards. There's the law of kind of cause and effect coming through here, right? Ooh, how exciting. So we have the law of habit. Ignite your creativity with a pattern. Interrupt. I do feel like you're someone who is doing this. Like we were just talking about, going against the grain and, breaking free from the status quo. I do feel as though you are someone who is trying to do things differently. But this could be a sign for you to also apply this to your everyday routine. So for example, brushing your teeth with the opposite hand, things like this, doing things slightly different in your everyday routine. But more so than anything, what this really feels like to me is that you are trying to actually be that pattern interrupt, right? Because whatever you may have been experiencing could have been something that was carried down through the line, what we would call generational curses, or ancestral karma, these sorts of things. I feel as though you are actually trying to be that pattern interrupt. And if you are someone who has previously been afraid of, or, if you've hidden your creativity, your uniqueness, this could be a sign for you to share that with the world. And perhaps this is something that you're already doing, right? If you're going against the grain, of whatever culture, society, family, whatever it may be, expects of you, right? You could already be doing that. I'm getting you could be someone who comes from a family of lawyers or doctors or something like that. There could be a family business, something along those lines, and you're like, no, I want to go be an artist. No, I want to go be a musician. No, I want to go do this. Something that no one expects. But again, there's that breaking that pattern or being that pattern interrupt. Following your own heart, following your own light, letting something much greater than yourself lead the way. It could also be that your decision to heal, to evolve, grow, be better could be the thing that sparked creativity within you that perhaps you didn't have access to before, right? It could have been the key that opened that door for you. I'm getting some fear coming through as well. So it could certainly be something where you're venturing into the unknown, being the one to, kind of walk that road less traveled, especially with whatever you're familiar with or your family or culture, etc., has been familiar with thus far. The law of perception. Look beyond the illusion to the one truth. Isn't it fascinating? We talk about all of these shifts in how we perceive things, or even how you perceive yourself, right? I get this feeling that you could have, up until a certain point, believed yourself to be something you weren't. Maybe at some point you did believe yourself to be weak or insignificant or small or, something of that nature. Maybe you had this belief that things were always going to be the same, something along those lines. And perhaps you only recently, and I say that with quotes because recently, with regard to the divine, to the universe, can be, 5 years ago, 50 years ago, right? But you could have recently begun to break free from that illusion, from those illusions. You could have started seeing yourself in a very, very different way, looking at yourself with different eyes. It feels as though others tried to paint a picture of you and give it to you and say, this is who you are. And you perhaps have chosen to say, hey, no, that's actually not who I am. That's actually not me at all. And I will take that paintbrush, thank you very much, 1010 just now, and I'm going to paint my own picture. I'm going to, figure out who I am without you telling me. And the law of action. Get out of your comfort zone and take bold action today. How about that? So, for example, right, if you are someone who is kind of being thrust into the limelight, if you are someone who suddenly has these eyes on you, who are showing up saying, oh, we've noticed that you worked really hard and we want to give you a promotion. Oh, we've noticed that you're really good at this, and so we want to move you into this space. We want to give you this opportunity. Take that, right? Take that bold action, because it does feel like things that may be showing up for you could put you in a position that's uncomfortable because you've never been there before, but it could be exactly what you need. It could be taking you to something new entirely, a new way of being, a new way of existing, a new experience to be having in the world. And not only the experience that you have in the world, but also the impact that you have on the world could be shifting as well. Of course, this can be showing up in a lot of different ways, and you have to do what's best for you and your own journey. Okay, so do trust yourself with this. But if you are someone who resonates with everything I've been sharing so far, there is this encouragement to take these rewards, to take these opportunities, to walk through the door and to experience things differently, to get out of your comfort zone, to be okay with being seen, to be okay with being, thrust into the limelight or having the spotlight on you, to be put in a position where maybe, there's more responsibility or whatever it is. I also love how in these two cards, there is what appears to be the moon, a full moon. The moon often representing illusions, confusion. And here, we have now this small crescent moon, and the wolf is, I'm getting a lone wolf, like going his own way and leaving that moon behind, or moving away from that sliver of illusion, that sliver of confusion, right? Another interesting thing as well is, of course, the moon also is connected to habits. And we have, that law of habit. So breaking free from the pattern. Okay. Those that came before you perhaps didn't have the courage to get out of their comfort zone, or maybe they weren't afforded the opportunity. And this could be something really incredible for you. So leaving that behind. What else would like to come through, please? Thank you. One more if we can. Thank you. We have here saboteur in the upright or light attribute position. Highlight your fear of self-empowerment and the changes it would bring to your life. So that's really confirming what we were just speaking on, right? Encouraging you to step out of your comfort zone, as it says there, and to allow that 555 drastic change energy to move you to something that could be so much better for you. We start off here with the shape shifter, also in the upright or light attribute position. Skill at navigating through different levels of consciousness, ability to see the potential in everything. As I was reading that, what I was actually getting is, while you may have been very fearful of being seen before, you're different now. You're different now. You know more now. You are wiser now. Your toolbox is much more expansive than what it was before. And so the way that you behave, the way that you show up could be a lot different. There's a sense of feeling as though you don't measure up, or feeling as though you're not enough. But the way that this is coming through is you've actually developed this incredible ability to navigate things much differently. So the reason I'm saying it like this is because I feel like, let's say the limelight is thrust upon you, or you're thrust into the spotlight, and there's this fear of, oh my gosh, what if I mess it up? What if I, this, and this? What this is saying is that the level at which you are operating from at this point is significantly different than what you were before. And so when you consider these opportunities, there's this encouragement to not consider it from where you once were. Does that make sense? It feels like your ability to navigate any experience you find yourself in is going to look very different than any way that it has previously, because you are different. Because you know more now. You see things differently now. And we have the athlete in the light attribute or upright position. Dedication to transcending physical limits, including handicaps. Development of personal willpower and strength of spirit. Again, you're stronger now. You know more now. You have developed this skill. This strength. One of the stronger messages coming through is you're ready. So both of these cards, the shapeshifter and the athlete, really seems to be speaking to God, the divine's confidence in you. And should you find yourself in this position where you are presented with a new opportunity, where you are presented with the ability to take that bold action, this is saying to me, you're ready. You have everything you need. That you have the skill required. You have the willpower. You have the strength. You have everything you need to navigate it. There's so much potential in you, if only you can see that yourself. Thank you. I am feeling guided to only read the tarot in the upright position. So So if there are any cards that show up in the reverse, I will be flipping them over. We start off here with the moon. Are you kidding me? Can't make it up. Certainly just more confirmation. Getting away from those illusions, seeing through the illusions, trusting your intuition. We do have here the Three of Swords, sorrow. This is beneath that law of habit or, that pattern interrupt energy. 3 is a number of growth and communication. There is something here about speaking to yourself in a very different way. Speaking to yourself with regard to your stories and what you've experienced in a different way as well. There's also a message here of heartache or sorrow being a teacher, providing you with wisdom that you would not otherwise be privy to. But let's see, what else do we have? Interesting. We also have the Three of Pentacles, material work. So what's fascinating is the Three of Pentacles, here he's showing off his work. Okay? Showing off his work, being recognized for his work. And again, it's bringing me back to how we started. Being, someone benevolent and moral and honest, and being recognized for that. In this case, it's working through your heartbreak and your sorrow, the things that perhaps were done to you that were cruel, and working through those and not turning that cruelty upon the world, but instead working to rewrite your own story, to become the alchemist, to become the healer, to take something that was harmful, painful, and turn it into something good, something helpful. You could be seeing repeating threes as well. Temperance. Super fascinating. So, yeah, bringing things into balance, harmony. Again, it's giving me taking what was bad and using it for good. That being the factor or the key that helps to establish harmony, to bring things into balance. This really is being the alchemist, bringing things into balance or harmonizing them. Yeah, we have the Two of Swords, peace. I mean, come on now. There's that crescent moon shape again. And it's choosing that, deciding to take that path with this deep knowing that it will ultimately lead you to peace, even if you're venturing into the unknown, even if you're having to make decisions that are challenging, uncomfortable, even if you're having to trust your intuition. And the sun. Are you serious? So we go from, I mean, look at it. We go from that sorrow, Three of Swords, to the sun, to celebration, to joy, to the light at the end of the tunnel, to being a bit more enthusiastic about life, experiencing life in a more robust, positive, happy, fulfilling way. And I love the fact that there's all of this moon energy, as though you've been walking through the darkness to arrive in the sun. Again, having that light. Even when we transition from the Two of Swords to the sun, I mean, we go from dark and the moon to the light. But again, I love that we have, get out of your comfort zone, take bold action. And the Two of Swords, make a decision. Choose. Choose. Choose boldly. And allow that to lead you to something different. Here we have the Three of Pentacles, where the sun is shining in, but he is indoors. He's doing this work behind the scenes, if you will, and do things differently, which then lead into the light, basking in the light. What's even more interesting is we've talked about perhaps you being that pattern interrupt, the one who is breaking these generational curses or these ancestral patterns, these ancestral karmas. And, here we have this grown person who is clearly in a lot of pain. And we end up with the inner child, the archetype of the inner child with the sun. So there's this sense of starting over. There's this sense of rewriting your story, rewriting or healing the lineage, moving forward. And I love that for you. That's so powerful. There's a feeling of, I've done it. Look at both of these cards. Look how similar they are. The hand gestures, where the arms are, rather. It's, I've done it. I've just heard, look, Mom, I made it. How incredible. If you're someone who is in this place right now, congratulations. Congratulations. God knows it has not been an easy road. And kudos to you for digging your heels in, for digging down and finding the strength, finding the courage to keep going. It's incredible. Final messages. Okay, perfect. At the bottom, we have Open Letter by the Amity Affliction. I'm not searching the sky for a reason to live, 'cause I found beauty right here and found the passion to give. So let me give you my heart. Let me give you my tears. Let me give you my life. Let me give you my fears. How incredible that we have this energy of being able to, again, experience cruelty, experience pain, struggle, experience abhorrent behavior, to experience pain and sorrow, and to not flip that upon the world, but to see the beauty in people and in life, and to want to be giving, to want to be of service. There's two ways that this is showing up, and one of which I've just been speaking on, but the other is creating this deep connection with God. And perhaps it's been through the trauma and the pain and the wounding, the programming, the suffering, where you found God, you found the divine. And in doing so, it opened your eyes to something much greater, something much more beautiful, something much more loving. And perhaps that is when you decided to give your life to that, to be a tool for the divine, to be a tool for God, to be of service to humanity. And if that's true, God bless you. God bless you, because it's not easy. And most people won't do it. They won't. And I just think that's so beautiful. So these are all songs which I've written the lyrics for and appropriately titled this deck Messages Through Music. I will link all of the songs that I have mentioned today in the notes below if you would like to give them a listen. But let's see what other songs wanted to come through for you. We have Straight from the Heart by Rudimental featuring 𝑁'𝒂𝒃. Give me your heart. How about that? Seriously? Give me your heart. Give me your soul. Give me your mind. Give me your love. I want it all. Give me your pain. I'll give you patience. Every day, whatever it takes, I'll do it all. And, ooh, I'll be saving it all for you. Believe in it. We're the truth. This is giving me that reciprocation, that reciprocity. It is giving me, you have given and given and given. You've trusted. You've been patient. And now, maybe it is your turn to receive. The part that's standing out is, I'll be saving it all for you, which is telling me that you may have been building up this karmic bank, this spiritual bank that's paying out. Not that you expected anything in return. Not that you were doing these things because you expected it to find its way back to you, or you expected repayment, but that the divine God is delivering to you what you deserve. And I do feel that a lot of this has to do with being who you are, being honest and moral and loving and kind and compassionate, and giving yourself, your life, giving your trust, having faith in God, in the divine. Maybe you're someone who has even been what we would call obedient to God, following instruction, following guidance, even if it was uncomfortable, even if you didn't understand it, even if it was painful to do that. You could have been asked to walk away from certain things. Maybe you're being asked to do that now. Maybe your life has been turned upside down, being obedient to God, being obedient to what you feel is best for you, what you feel is true for you and your path. But again, it feels like, Mom, I did it. It paid off. Another rudimental song here. This one is featuring Major Lazer and Marie and Mr. Easy, and it's called Let Me Live. Are we losing control, or is it meant to be? Now I've opened my mind. Now, come on, set me free. 'Cause I am the one. I rule my world. Nobody rule my destiny. 'Cause you are the one. You rule your world. No bad man own your destiny. These are some pretty incredible songs to be showing up based off of what we've just been talking about. I mean, it is that cause and effect kind of energy. It is choosing this path, deciding that no one is going to tell you who you are. No one is going to tell you what you're capable of, or what your life should look like, or how it should feel, or what is best for you. Right? No one outside of yourself. And it's interesting because there's that no bad man own your destiny. And when we started in the beginning, we were talking about perhaps being someone who has been perceived as being small or weak or insignificant. And that is what that is. That is someone else speaking that over your life as if that's all you're going to be. And instead you deciding, nope, sorry, that's not my story. I'm choosing different. Even if you don't see that. Even if you don't acknowledge it. And we have I alone. It's easier not to be great and measure these things by your eyes. We long to be here by his resolve, alone in the church by and by, to cradle the baby in space and leave you there by yourself, chained to fate. I love this because first of all, we have, the Three of Pentacles here with this fella in a church. And then we have, the child on the Sun card showing up. So I do love closing the messages out with this song. I think it's just incredible. But more than that, as it says here, it's easier not to be great. and to measure these things by your eyes. In other words, it's easy to take the easy road. It's easy to walk the path that has been made for you. It is easy to do things the way that they've always been done. It's easy to just align with the paradigm and to go with the status quo and to just do what's expected. It's easy to look at the world and to choose a path that you know is going to provide for you, is going to be safe, secure. It's easier not to be great, to just blend in, to just do what you're told, to be entrenched in the physical world. In some sense, it's easier to not follow your soul. And actually, it's easier regardless, especially when it comes to healing and evolving. But you know, what I love about this is that there's a message of deciding that, again, right? You're not going to let society or culture or, you know, paradigms, traditions, etc., bad men or women or whatever, own your destiny, right? Because we have free will. And this energy of, you know, leave you there by yourself, chained to fate, this is choosing different. Again, breaking the pattern, breaking the chain, trusting God to lead you, trusting the divine to lead you, to cradle you, to care for you, provide for you, instead of just remaining chained, instead of just sinking into whatever demands the world has of you. Such a powerful session we've had. And if this has resonated for you, I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you for all that you are doing and will do. I want to thank you for being courageous and brave and strong and bold, and for doing what you feel your soul, what God is calling you to do, to be of service to humanity, to the world, to me, to everyone else. I'm just so grateful for you. It's an honor to walk the planet with people like you. So I just want to say thank you. I pray that something here has been valuable, has provided some kind of confirmation or clarity or some kind of something for you as you move forward along your journey. Thank you again for being here. It has truly been a pleasure. Take care of your ever evolving, growing, wise, strong, beautiful, knowledgeable, skillful, unique soul. Peace be with you and within you, and I hope to see you in another chat. Bye.